Good evening to you. Hope you are all good. BTC is weak, so I'm going to be taking a quick look around on BTC. Sound okay? So yeah, market's very weak. It's not been encouraging at all, to be fair. Tonight's session is going to be nice and short, and I'm just going to be taking a quick look on what I foresee happening on some particular levels. So just wait for a few people to jump on. Fantastic. Good to see you all. Right, boom, let's go. So, yeah, so as we can see here on BTC, we did think that we were coming out of this falling wedge. That's not been the case at all. So that can come off the chart. We're following on from Friday when I gave the update. And yes, we've broken below this particular range that we were ranging in. So we have, I'm gonna move this around. I'm going to take a look at Ethereum and Bitcoin. So we've got this range low that we're looking at really here. If we click that right now, the deviation, let me just, what I want to do, I'm going to get my 0.25 range up, and then I'm going to dissect it sub levels. Right, here we go. So this is my schematic. This is the 0.25 range split in half as well. So I can see some particular levels here that I can focus on. So as we can see, this level here, so you got the 0.25, 50, 0.75, and then the levels in between as well. These are handy to have. People think they're a waste of time, but they're not. These are handy to have because it helps you pretty much see what we're balancing on now. We can see we're balancing on the level between the 0.25 and the 50. This bit of liquidity here, this has been taken just here. And that's what we're balancing on now. So let's get rid of that. So yes, let's have a quick look. Fresh eyes on the chart. I've been out the office most of the day, so I thought I'd come on and show you what I'm looking at. So you can see it's weak. We've lost the value just here. So this is the value that we've been ranging in on BTC for the last, well, when's it been? February 6th. So yeah, most of the month of February, to be honest. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that we're gonna make new lows locally right now, but what it does mean is we're deviated below. So what's happened is, this is why I think it's weak. Couple of reasons why I think it's pretty weak on Bitcoin. You've got this descending range that we can see we're making lower highs. Fine, yeah. So we're making lower highs, and it looks like a bit of a descending triangle. If we're looking at it like that, we can see that descending triangle, lower highs, holding support, but we've finally given way. Reason why I say it looks, let me go on the 2-hour chart, fairly weak here, is because what we've done is we've deviated. We don't mind deviating below the value area low. We kind of want that because it means we're going to get a nice failed auction where we deviate below the value area low. We then reclaim it. And because of the principles of it, we pretty much know that we're going to come up and kiss the value area high. But what we can see here, we've lost the value area low quite violently, which was early hours of the morning. Fallen, tried to reclaim it, and then got a rejection, and then created we haven't closed, but we've created a lower low locally. We're talking locally here. But what we can also see is as we've created this lower wick here, we've not rebounded. We've not looked like we're coming back up to here. So scenario for me locally is potentially looking for lower lows. So let's get this out the way. Now we've looked at the value area. Get that out the way. So levels for me, let's have a look, see if we've got any monthlies, weeklies, dailies. Not going to have on a monthly yet. Weekly level, nothing below us. Just do this as a course of habit. We've got a daily level here. So we've got a daily level here. I think I did set out some support levels below. I did set out when I did here we go. Here we go. So this is the levels that I set out the other day. I'll set them out again so you can see me, but I predicted this last week that we'd come down. If we came down and got the bounce from the levels above, which we did, there was the first level. So I'll show you the trades that we've been looking at for the past. Yes, that's its stop loss now. But what it did do is we put them out just here. Look, you can see. And we bring that across. Very, very nice. Make that see through. This is, I'll show you, obviously it's good for you to see me set up the trades, but it's also good for you to see the trades play out as well. So we got a couple of bounces. We got a first bounce up to here, TP1, bearing in mind TP1 is there, look. Yeah. Then what we had, second bounce up to TP2, third bounce here, up to here. So we had 3 bounces in this lovely area here. So if you are following on X, on YouTube, etc., and you did follow these trades, not financial advice, then of course, hope you made a bit of money from that. But yes, that was the first area. And the second area was this area down here. So I'm going to chart it out again for you, just to give you a bit of context as what I'm thinking. Is this a great level? Not necessarily. So we've got our first level here, which is a daily. I'm going to check on the PVSRA to see if we've got PVP, any weeklies, dailies. I think let's have a look. So we've got previous week value area low down at 62. So that's something to be aware of. Although I'm not asked, I'm not thinking we're going to get too much support from that. Let's have a look, see if we've got any daily MPOX. No, that daily MPOX been taken. That's what we bounced off this morning. Fine. Down to here. So no MPOX. So for me, really, we have got one last ditch attempt before we make new local lows. And that is this. That is this. I'll take the fib from there to there. I hit it there, and I'm gonna try a 7.5. Perfect. 7.5, 7.86. One last ditch attempt, as I said last week. I will repeat myself at times because obviously we predicted these bounces to get that lovely. What was that, by the way? Let's just have a look. So from the bottom of here to the top of here, 4.6, 4.7%, which was decent. That's a nice little trade for an intraday trade that's set up, that is. But I will, as we progress in the market, and obviously I'm going through it with you, I will be looking at potential levels that we can hit. So let's get the 0.25 level back up. That's that one there. So what we've got, like this, nice schematic here. I'm thinking there's a nice area around here. A nice area around here. It only needs to be small, doesn't need to be anything crazy. And literally it's only a 1 point. Let's put it to 2%, just to, I like round numbers. 2% here. Just there like that. Historic box. Yes, fantastic. So what we've got here is we've got a daily level. I do think we're going to get some sort of reaction from here. To think that we're going to make new lows straight away and come through these without a reaction, I don't think that's the case. I think there will be traders waiting to come down into this particular level to get some kind of a bounce. I do think we'll create a lower high. So we could get a bounce. So from here up to here, it could be 7.5%. It's still a nice intraday setup. But I do think coming down to here like this, into this level here for the 78675 and daily level, and don't forget vector candle recovery, not amazing, but it's still a 4-hour vector that's unreclaimed at the moment. So it's a naked vector for me. Down into this level here. Hopefully we get a nice bull div on the alpha as well. Money flow leaving the asset at the moment, which we'd expect. What I'm expecting is what would be nice, this low here, and then a higher low here for a nice bull div on the alpha. Obviously, we'll be monitoring the money flow as we enter this particular area like we always do here, but that's what I'd like to see in this particular area. This is one last ditch attempt, yeah, before we come down for those lower support levels here. So if I get the daily level up here, we've got this little range that, this is just a micro localized range. But if we look at the support below, what we have got is what we've had our eyes on for a while now. This anchored VWAP is interesting because the longer this goes on, the more we're starting to work our way up. So this is the very, very low of the bear market of 2022. Very, very low of the bear market 2022. So it's quite a significant level for us. But what we can see here, we are still very much so within this value area of yesteryear. That's what the range low is. We hit this value area low here. We can still see we've struggled to get out of it. So we've come down, hit the value area low, we've struggled to get out of it, we've deviated back in. So, only slight deviations. So really, we're looking at this particular level just because we're looking at the chart. But until we break out of this particular range, this is the range of value that we're going to be trading in. Even if this is what I expect, this is what I've been calling for a while. Even if we come back down to here, a nice wick, what I'd like to see, let's bring this and make it nice and big. 8-hour chart. Let's look at this from this perspective. So even if, so this is the localized view. This is the one that you all get trapped in sometimes. Even if we come down to here quite violently, take that liquidity, create a lower high, back down to here, because it's not going to do it. I don't think it's going to do it as easy as we think it's going to, like a straight move down, back up, boom, new all-time high. It's not going to be like that. Market makers will not allow you. I say the market makers aren't really interested in trying to trap retail. They're not really bothered about retail. And our liquidity that we bring to the market is very, very minute, if I'm honest with you. It's more market maker against market maker than anything. They're not really bothered about it. Stop thinking that the market maker's obsessed with you, because he's not. Don't get me wrong. He'll come and sweep liquidity from here. Of course he will. But there's also other market makers that bought here. So yeah, what we've got to do is we've got to identify where we would trade if we were market makers. Market makers being the big boy, the institutions, the people with lots of money. These are where the naked volume levels are going to treat as well. And institutions do buy, I believe, on the anchored VWAP as well. So I think it's going to be a sweep of the lows, front run the anchored VWAP there, create a lower. So what's going to happen is, yes, this is the scenario. Down to this level here, get a nice bounce, create a lower high, back down to these range lows, sweep that liquidity, front run the anchored VWAP, up to here, make another lower high. But don't forget, we've flipped this from support to now resistance. So we've got our first bounce, which has drained it of its nakedness, of its untapped voluminous, of whatever you want to check. It's useless. Once the level's been tapped, I wouldn't rely on it. Then we're going to come down, front run that, sweep the lows. People are going to think this is the end of this downtrend. They're going to trick. No, because we'll be keeping an eye on money flow from the alpha. We'll be keeping an eye on the momentum waves, etc. Something that we do. We can monitor what's happening with the momentum and the money flow. So we can see that. And we're monitoring exo charts as well with the footprint chart and monitoring order flow from that as well. So let's get back to business of what I think is going to happen here. And I'll talk you the way through of my opinion, not financial advice, of what I think is going to happen. So let's, from the top down to here, nice bounce, lower high, straight through, sweep of that, front run of the anchored VWAP, flip from resistance, support, now resistance. Then I think we're going to come down for these levels here. And then we need to see what kind of reaction we're going to get from these levels. I think this could be the local bottom. There are other levels, yes, but we've got a significant level of support with this anchored VWAP. They're all going to play a part. The anchored VWAP here, the monthly MPOC here, the daily here. I think we're going to wick through the monthly and the anchored VWAP. We're going to come down and nab that daily naked point of control. And then we're going to auction back above both the monthly and the anchored VWAP. Why do I say that? Because I've been here many, many times before, and I know that's how it works. Of course, it's speculation. Of course, I could be wrong. Who cares? But it's a fantastic theory. Fantastic theory. And it's one that we've seen time and time again. Now, the thing that I've noticed statistically about monthly and weekly, I'll have a look at some of the comments and then I'll comment on the monthlies and the weeklies. Good to see you, Keith. Good to see you, Ben. Hello, my friend. Some of the comments. What a reversal from that breakout. Yeah, exactly, my friend. Lee. Good to see you, Coach Cully. Good to see you, my friend. One of our senior coaches, Lee. Thanks for tuning in, brother. So what we've noticed about the monthlies and the weekly NPOCs is we do get deviations below them. What that means is, so I would trust the reaction off of a daily more than a monthly or a weekly. Now, there's a difference between a swing failure pattern which you get a small move to the upside, and a deviation below a level, aka what we call a failed auction. So we'll come down to here. People think this is going to be a breakout to the downside, ends up being a fake out. We then auction back above that particular level and the anchored VWAP, reclaim this range, and then start to work our way back up. A failed auction is far, far, far more superior, although they're very similar, slightly different. This is what we teach on the Mastermind mentorship. But what we can see here, it will make its way back to the opposite side of the range. That's why I like it. That's why I don't mind it. But what it does is it causes max pain. When we come below these levels here and we're thinking, wow, I thought this was going to hold. No, because we come below this level here, we consolidate. The consolidation is painful. Painful. You come below here and the consolidation, and you're thinking, are we going to break down? Is this a bear flag for further falling? Or is it a consolidation below that particular level before them reclaiming it and auctioning back into this previous range here of value? I would suspect the latter. I would suspect a failed auction below this and then a reclaim of the range. Obviously, what is going to be able to tell us that is time, of course, market structure on the lower term time frame, money flow on the alpha, the momentum waves, and obviously monitoring the volume on the VWAP as well. Now, on the medium to higher term time frame, all that you're going to see is a wick through the anchored VWAP and the monthly, and then a close back into the range. On the lower term time frame, you're going to see the noise. You're going to see all the consolidation, then the reclaim, and you're going to see the higher lows. You're going to see the deviations on the alpha. The divergences on the alpha, and that's what you're going to see. On the medium to higher term time frame, you're going to get a wick down, a wick back up, and then you're going to just get a close above it. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get something that looks like that. That's what I think is going to happen with Bitcoin. We have got some lower levels below us, but I'm going to leave that for another session. Because there's no point in looking down here until we see the reaction off of these particular levels. So are support levels 100%? Definitely not. But technical analysis and very experienced intuition, I would say that what I've just talked about there is a very, very good area for you to keep your eye on. Hey, Richie Balling, good to see you, mate. Thanks for tuning in. So yes, first reaction. This is first area, lower high. Flip support to resistance, down here to take this low. Second area for a potential day trade, up to here because we've flipped support to resistance, and then we're going to come down for these levels here. We may get a small bounce off the anchored VWAP. I'll be very surprised if we come down to this anchored VWAP, but we don't tap this monthly. If we do that, another scenario for you, I would expect at some point for us to maybe come up to here, maybe create a higher high on price, but a lower high on the oscillator, which is the alpha, to create a bear div. They're going to make us work for it. And then a potential move down to then sweep all of that and then come down. So we know how the market acts. We understand how it acts. We're ready for the way it acts. We've got our areas all worked out here. And that's all we're bothered about. So yeah, 20 minutes, nice and short. I'll give you a bit of an update on ETH. Of course, we put these trades out for our mentees in the community. And also I did a video on it last week as well. We got a reaction off quite a few, to be honest. If we put this on the hour chart, you will see 2-hour chart. Let's have a look. You will see here that the first reaction was value area low, daily MPOC, bounce, TP1, TP2. Same happened again on the value area, and the second touch of the naked point of control up to TP2. We then fell. Where did we fall? To our perfect levels here, which was, I believe, right, 7.5, and then the daily. It's not tapped the daily yet. So we our trusty 7.5 and 7.86 levels have been tapped. 7.5 hit there. Up to this level. Notice this was support, now resistance. So we've hit support, TP both times, fell straight through support, hit the 7.5, all the way up to the previous support on the naked point of control on the daily, And that's the move that we got today. But still, from there to there, still nearly a 5% move. Nearly a 5% move. So yeah, really nice. Really nice. Again, watch the videos back. You'll see we had this level. We had this range already marked out. Did we ever think that we'd come and hit the stop loss? No. Why? Because there's just too many levels. Unless something seriously happens, something serious, we know we've got good support, and if that breaks, which this is the third touch, of course it was going to break, back down to here, we've got these levels that we got marked out. These levels that we got marked out. These are not now naked. We've got a naked 786 and daily level there, so still time. But for me, I don't think I'm going to be long in this at present. Definitely not, even though we've got a naked daily there where we get a little tap. We might get a little tap on the daily, but I doubt we'll get a reaction. What we prefer in the Trading Masters Mastermind is this. We prefer the violent moves down for the swing failure pattern on the level. That's what we prefer. I don't want a dribble down like this. I didn't even like that, to be fair. I don't want a nice little dribble down. That means that retail are in control. Retail, nice little dribble down. That's what we've got here. Little bit of a dribble like that. I don't want that. I want a violent move down to hit my level for a swing failure pattern to give me a nice 5% move. That's what we're after. So yeah, another great trade. Hope you guys followed it. Not financial advice, of course. That's what I see happening with Bitcoin. I'll keep this session within 23 minutes, which is good. Hope you enjoyed it. Do let us know if you want me to cover anything else. Feel free to comment. Of course, feel free to like, subscribe, and share the channel, comment, show me what you're up to. And of course, if you want to join the mastermind, get access now. Click the link below. You'll see the WAP shop below, the link to join the mentorship. And yeah, you get one-to-one coaching, signals, trades. We share all our trades live in the moment, updates, coaching calls, the lot. This mentorship's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, leave you to it. Have yourself a great evening, and I'll speak to you soon. See you tomorrow.